Hello, I'm going to be talking about my game Into the Outside, which is a 2.5D adventure game with turn-based combat. The game centers around a 2D character that's been thrown into a 3D world, and it is set in Cornwall. So basically you play as a 2D character that goes around and tries to find its way back home. I created this game in Unity. The game is fairly heavily story driven, so there's going to be a lot of dialogue in the game, lots of cutscenes. But in terms of gameplay wise, the turn-based combat is the main focus of the game. You aren't alone in this 3D world, as there has been other characters that are 2D that have been thrown into the world too. So joining you in an adventure is a seagull called Chip, and when you fell into the world initially, you lost your memory, so the seagull gives you the name Fish. So together, you and your seagull friend are called Fish and Chip, and you go around a Cornwall-inspired landscape trying to get back home. But you aren't alone in this world. As the world that you've entered into, humans exist. The story basically plays alongside the humans as they discover these weird 2D creatures that are appearing in the world. And it's a parallel story to yours. So these big humans that are obviously giant in the game discover all the lives of these weird 2D characters. When planning my game design, I wanted to have the game center around this core mechanic of turn-based combat. And the gameplay loop I put in place is you enter a new area, you meet all the characters in that area and that specific species of character. You have a danger that appears, and basically with that comes more battles, and you'll find a friend who is in that species who will join you on your journey too. So then you travel to a new location, and then the gameplay keeps looping in different locations. In terms of programming, I have not done any turn-based combat before, so I used the Brackeys tutorial on YouTube initially to get me started. With the dialogue system, I basically made it so that you can, so that I can basically create the cameras, create the expressions that the character's going to make. I'm really happy with how I formatted that dialogue system because it made it so much easier for creating loads of dialogues in the actual game. In terms of the menu, I had resume, team management, items, settings and quit. And I basically wanted to have the team management, you get to pick your team's moves and change the order in which you want to have people battling. In terms of items, I think maybe we could have like some healing items, maybe some buff items that give you higher chance to get a higher damage attack. But I ran out of time on that, so I didn't quite make it. Moving on to animation. Animation was my main focus on this game, is to really try and hone into my art direction and animation. Basically, I hand drew all of the characters and all of the animations seen in the game, and I found it really fun. I thought it was really good to bring emotion to these characters, and I think I did so in a good way. But I think I can also push it further by having different animations for different characters too. These are some of the characters that you'll find in Into the Outside. This is more the first section of the game when you're walking around in the beach town called the town of Bucket, where everyone's actually living in converted buckets. But yeah, these are some of the characters, and the apple character is for the forest level, which I started working on but didn't actually get into the game in time for the demo. With the art direction, I took inspiration from Paper Mario and Unravel. So essentially my game, I wanted the character to be really small in a massive world. So a bit like Unravel, I wanted to have like depth of field showcasing how small you are, and obviously when the humans do arrive in the game, they look massive, which makes them a little bit more scary and frightening. In terms of locations that I created, obviously I started off making the Falmouth inspired one, the Cornish inspired one, so you're by the sea. I also started working on the woods and a field, which was more set in like autumn time. So eventually you'll be going to different locations. In terms of level design, I really wanted to have this first town that you get to feel like it's being lived in, and I thought by making all of the characters live in buckets, you get to showcase the different lives of the characters and see how they are, and you get to chat to all of them too. In terms of sound design, all of the music in the game I created using a website called Soundtrap, which gives you samples and you can combine them all to create your own music. Thank you for having a look at my game. I really enjoyed making it, and I kind of want to keep making it and further it even more. So yeah, let me know what you think of it. But Thank you for your time. Cheers.